Is it on? Yeah, it is. About 50 minutes left. All right, guys, we're going to continue. Sorry that there's a little bit of a glare here, but you are chilling in the dirt. I wanted to go over. Fuck it. I might just remake you guys. I'll actually show you the process. I want to go over just doing some transplanting here in the garage den. Garage den. Anyway, so getting some work done, getting some transplanting. We have a tray. We have a tray of transplanting to do. As you can see, we're about halfway done, right? Quite honestly, I have no idea what is what here. I'm not really sure of what. I do know of the 10. So if you know by what I'm looking at, then you'll know broccoli, kale lacinato, kale. What I'm used to seeing, kale lacinato, and then kale heirloom. At least kale, the normal kale. Spinach, Swiss chard, which is, I believe, what I'm working on now. I have white cabbage, purple cabbage, rutabaga, red onions, white onions. So that's what we got. I'm pretty sure, I'm definitely on Swiss chard. I've got colorful stems coming here, but I also was unaware. I just don't know that the roots are very shallow. The roots are very thin. So it's making it very, very, very difficult to pull apart and just be very soft, be very gentle, be very feminine, be very tender, more tender. So what I'm doing, and it's still not the greatest idea. I'm just learning, guys. I really am in this state of learning here, and I know what I'm doing might just be wrong, right? So I'm about to put 3 different. As you can see, I used Jiffy pads, right? These are the Jiffy boxes, and you fill it up with dirt. You've got 72 or 36 of these little doodads. You put a seed inside each, and they sprout up. It's obvious. It's easy. I'm not perfect, so I may drop an extra seed or 2. Swiss chard, I happen to have like an extra 6 seeds. And the roots are very shallow and the roots are very thin. So I've got like freaking 6 plants over here with semi-chillaxing roots. They have a main stem. It's just very thin in comparison to like beans or peas. So what I'm going to do is transplant them into the bigger pots. But I'm going to put 3 of them in each because I just don't feel like wasting soil. I don't feel like using up too much space for just one plant that I'm not even sure if it's going to produce. I don't know how well this is going to do. Like I said, it's just learning, you know. I want to know how well things do. I have way more options. I have way more choices, way more things going for me than I do knowledge to back up what it is that I'm actually doing. Maybe I don't know how to describe it. I'm just kind of doing the things that I feel are necessary. Better. I do have specifics. I have a very big thing on space, and it's funny because when you look at my garden, I actually have so much space that I could plant whatever I want and just get away with it. But it's not necessarily what I'm focused on. I would like to say that I'm very focused on the future. As long as the bed is created and made to the likings that I want, then it's good. And you know, granted, weeds can grow. As long as I keep them going, it should be okay. But I think I'll be all right in the fact that I'm like, this is my first year, and I'm not doing well. I'm not doing amazing. Just kind of enjoying it, enjoying the process. I love this stage of the process because then these guys get a lot of specific time. I get to keep my eye on them a little bit more closely because now they're all separate. Can look at them individually, or at least 3 at a time. Yeah, these are good. I'm gonna keep that going with 1, 2, 3. We'll see how these go. Yeah, I don't even see a main stem on this, so it may have just broken off in the transition of things. I mean, it's not easy breaking this whole thing apart with 60, 70, 80, 90 sometimes seeds inside here. Honestly, it's probably in the range of like 75 to 80. I didn't make too many doubles this time around. I really wanted to be as clean as I could with Jiffies. It's still more quantity. It's way more quantity. If you want to be precise, you take 1 pot and 1 seed. It sounds so drastic as a newbie, but it's not as bad as it is production-wise when you take the time and care and energy to take care of the single individual plants on their own. The production is well worth it. I'm just having fun, right? I just need some extra growth in my life because there is none. So we've got this dude, Dad, who is heavily armed. He's heavily armed. This honestly looks like a kale. Yeah, actually he may be. Yeah, I think he's a kale. He's way over here in the corner. This fellow, I just don't know my fracking things, man. Looks good though, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss it in its own pot. Even though this isn't a huge one, just gonna let her go. We should be transplanting these things within a week or 2. Again, I know it's fast. I just like having hands on. I'm okay with it. Overall, the amount of seeds that I'm pushing out, right? The amount of seeds that I'm sowing versus the amount of space that I have is what calls for the transitions in my mind to be made a little bit slower. That way I can choose what plants, which are the strongest ones, right? So if I have maybe 10 or 12 of one plant, not necessarily in their appropriate beds, like in the ground, just in their pots, I only have space for maybe like 3 to 5 plants per space that I have. And that's only because I want to use a lot of different plants, which means I need a lot of different space, a lot of different, blah, blah, blah. But overall, I think this is a good, I would like to think that this is a good transition, and I'm pretty sure I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm going at, I don't really care if something dies off. I have plenty to go around. There's plenty to actually do here. I'm just having fun. So let's change paces a little bit. I'm going to change paces and wash my hands while I show you guys our basil. Basil, I just cut off this guy from that one. I've got to make pickles from the leftovers of that. I did the same thing with these 2 down here, and they seem to be thriving. These are amazing basil. They're like minty basil. They're really, really succulent and clean. And I'm still, guys, I'm still unsure as far as how this sort of, sorry that I know the light's behind me, but this style of pruning, right? So if I prune just washing my hands. So if I prune a basil leaf and replant it, it can potentially grow into another one, as you can see, or as you saw, which is what I would like to go for. I never want to buy another seed again, fellas. Like, buying seeds is absolutely, that should be good enough, right? Yeah, I don't want to buy any more seeds. That should work. It's just not very sunny. I know, it's not very great at all. I don't want to buy any more seeds, guys. That's the cold hard truth. I just saved all of the seeds from the last 2 cantaloupes that we just cut. They were from the store. Not sure if I'll keep them forever, but yeah. I want to go into Wim Hof. I do. I'm going to take a break here. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're gonna talk about something serious. We're gonna talk about a little bit. Golly, do I even need to prep? I definitely should. I know there's still a lot more to do. I'm gonna go ahead and stop right now. Yeah, we're gonna stop right now. See you guys later for a Wim Hof, Wiz Hof tutorial slash talk. We're gonna discuss some breathing techniques, some meditation. Catch you in the next video.